Hey everyone, welcome to the PoliticAL update with me, Alexandra Acker-Lyons. I pay attention to the political news so you don't have to. This is the advice I give my millionaire clients, and you get it for free. It is Friday, June 26th. Hello from St. Louis, Missouri. There are two really important ballot measures happening in Missouri. The first one is about ballot measures. It would require that the majority of voters from each congressional district vote to approve a ballot initiative rather than a simple statewide majority. This is a direct response to Missouri's incredible success over multiple election cycles in passing lots of progressive measures like minimum wage and expanded Medicaid. This is on the August ballot in an effort to suppress turnout. There is also a measure to completely repeal and ban abortion rights and ban gender affirming care on the November ballot. So if you know voters in Missouri, please let them know what's at stake. Lots of candidate news this week. We saw the primaries in New York where three progressive candidates won three safe blue seats. Two incumbents were ousted. But like with Mondami's win itself, we got to take this with a grain of salt. Everyone needs to calm the fuck down. New York is much more progressive than the rest of the country. Even just north of New York City, in my home congressional district of New York 17, Kate Conley won that primary. She was not the most progressive candidate. Ben McAdams in Utah won a primary in a very safe new blue seat in Utah, not the most progressive candidate. So we should not be overreading the tea leaves here. This is just more about anti-incumbent, anti-establishment sentiment than it is about DSA. Also in Maryland, by David Trone, finally. This is the billionaire who ran against Angela Alsobrooks and spent $100 million of his own money trying to do so, and then went back and tried to reclaim his old House seat, also running against a woman. He lost. Bye. Colorado is next week. My home congressional district with Diana DeGette in some real trouble in that district. Really exciting governor's race and more. So we will chat about that on Tuesday, my birthday. Inside elections also moved Georgia and Iowa governor's races to toss-ups, following on the heels of the Cook's political report and Sabato doing the same. They also moved Alaska to likely R. I think that's going to move more once we have a nominee. And keep in mind, Alaska has ranked choice voting, so everything is always more competitive than it appears. Interestingly, they moved Oregon from likely D to lean D. I think this is probably because of the amount of money that Phil Knight and others have been pouring into the Republican Party in Oregon. Unlimited donations in Oregon, so please go give Tina Kotek some money. She will need it to win. And then on the Senate side, they moved Iowa to lean R and Montana away from Democrats to solid R. I think just as a recognition of the fact that there is an actual Democrat running there, in addition to Seth Bodnar, the really strong independent candidate, and that splitting that anti-Republican vote is going to make it really hard to win. You can learn all about these and more in my new Where to Give Now memo. I do a deep dive on non-federal races in particular, and you can read that on my website, aladvising.com, and on my Substack, alackerlyons.substack.com. I will put those links in the notes. Other political news, Donald Trump continues to throw a temper tantrum over the SAVE Act. This is a bill that does not have the votes to pass in the Senate, that would actually disenfranchise Republican voters, but that Donald Trump thinks he needs in order to win by cheating and suppress Democratic votes because of fraud. He is willing to blow everything up, including this bipartisan housing bill, to get his way. But it looks like Republicans are actually going to hold the line. I kind of think this is going to continue to be a zombie and just keep coming back in every negotiation. Maybe someone with some sense can show him like actual data that this will hurt their side too. SCOTUS decisions came down yesterday, screwing over immigrants and asylum seekers, overturning a Hawaii gun safety law, and allowing Monsanto to give people cancer. So great job, guys. And these aren't even the big cases yet. We expect more decisions as early as Monday. In Expand the Map news, I want to shout out Rural West Project and the Way Back PAC slate. Way Back PAC. Way Back PAC. Say that 3 times fast. They are a wonderful organization that I work with really closely that is looking to expand the map in particularly Western states, looking at some other regions as well. From Senate and governor all the way down. In some cases, that means supporting a common sense Democrat. In some cases, it means running an independent. And in some cases, it means supporting common sense Republicans in primaries. I personally gave to some candidates in Montana who were Republicans and part of that bicameral, bipartisan coalition there. So I will put that slate link in the show notes. Show them some love. And then in 2028 has begun. All of these conversations coming out of New York about DSA have drawn more attention to AOC and kind of bring up the question about will she own the progressive lane in the presidential primary if she chooses to run for president. She may run for Senate instead, or she may run for the House again. She is very young. She has lots of time. But Chris Van Hollen and Chris Murphy seem to be kind of making some moves there. So I don't know if it'll be kind of like a 2016 situation where we have one really explicit progressive candidate, or like 2020 where we have, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders and others kind of fighting over that wing. I'm currently reading Chris Murphy's book. It's really good. I agree with a lot of what he's saying. So I'm excited for us to actually talk about ideas. Imagine. Finally, my shout out of the week goes to Planned Parenthood. It is the 4th anniversary of the Dobbs decision, which overturned Roe v. Wade. I am a very proud National Planned Parenthood Action Fund and PAC board member. I am also an Action Fund and PAC board member for Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains. And I'm asking everyone to go give to Planned Parenthood in honor of my birthday. I will put the link in the notes. Happy birthday, America. Go reclaim some patriotism. We're going to have some people over and have the kids read the Declaration of Independence out loud, and I'm sure they'll make me cry. So go do something inspiring with your crew too. Bye.